Hey guys, Filmington here. I wanted to show off a few things today. A card I recently sold, some things I got in the mail, as well as my results from MikeO's bulk PSA submission. Check out his channel. He posted the full videos where he went into detail on what everybody got, but that was in two different videos that he posted last week that were live streams. But let's get started. So I sold this card a couple days ago. Just about to go to the post office to mail it. BGS 10 Pristine Juan Soto Bowman Chrome autograph. It's got the 9 autograph. Picked this up for $508 in early February, and 5 or 6 weeks later, flash forward to today, sold this for $705. So that's a net profit after eBay fees, shipping fees, PayPal fees of just about $100. So pretty happy to get that return, given the holding period was just over a month on this one. BGS 10 Pristine 9 autographs are kind of hard to value. I think this is very similar to the value of a PSA 10. And, you know, sparing the detail into the math, the BGS 10 Pristines usually go for a little under double what a PSA 10 would go for. That's a general rule. Of course, that's going to vary based on population count, based on the card, based on the set, but that's a general rule. But then the 9 autographs going to knock down the final value of the card about, unfortunately, down to about 60% or a 40% decrease. So that gets you about the value of what a PSA 10 would be. So pretty happy, given that PSA 10s right now are going for, I think, between $650 and $675. The autograph clearly isn't perfect here. I recently showed a video where I was able to cross over a card. So this also had a 9 autograph in Beckett before I crossed it over, but I'll take this autograph any day over this one. And that's probably not fair because this one's in a sleeve, so it looks a little more faded than it is, but I'd rather own this card, I think, than this one. Like I said, BGS 10 Pristine Auto 9 sells for about the same as a PSA 10 in most cases. All right, so mail day. We got a 2015 Topps Chrome Lindor. This is a short print. Thank you, Dead Guy Cardboard. Check out his videos. One of his more recent videos. He goes into great depths talking about some players and cards that you should pick up that he feels are undervalued. So either guys coming off bad seasons or guys that are kind of forgotten about that are still on the Hall of Fame trajectory. He focuses on a lot of those guys. Lindor's example of a player he just thinks is undervalued because he's one of the top shortstops in the game right now, but his cards aren't selling as such. So pick this one up, probably a little bit more than what I wanted to spend, but I did use a eBay coupon. So nice card. Left to right centering isn't perfect, but all around a good card nonetheless. And I think Card Tech or somebody else who I'm subscribed to followed or watched Dead Guy Cardboard's video, and it inspired him to pick up the BGS 10 Pristine version, which was a much better deal. Probably for an additional $50 or so, he was able to get that, and probably use a coupon as well. So happy to get that. Next card. There's been a run-up on a lot of the Jeter rookie cards and PSA 10s. Topps Gold, I saw one that went for like at least $550 a day or two ago. Of course, we all know about the SPs and how much the 9s and 8.5s, and of course the 10s are going for with those cards. So I find it pretty hard to find a PSA 10, any of his PSA 10 rookies, even if it is a less desirable brand like this one, going for under $150. And I was happy to pick this one up for under $150 and apply either a eBay Bucks promotion or a coupon. I forget what it was, but knocked down the total price to me to about 120, 125. Probably tough to get this in a 10 grade. I haven't looked at the pop, but you got to assume with the green borders there that it's not the easiest card. Get a 10, and it's really clean too, so I'm definitely happy with this purchase. I think the Jeter cards, there's certainly been a surge in prices, but I really don't see that trend reversing till post Hall of Fame induction. All right, next card. I love Topps Heritage. I love Ronald Acuna, as you would know if you've watched any of my videos. And I had been on the lookout for this for a while. Good price to pay for this one is probably around 200 or so. I'm not sure the population count on this one. This is his short print action variation. And given that it's a paper heritage card, not the easiest to get these in PSA 10s with chipping, with corner issues, of course with centering too. So I was happy to pick this one up. And then last but not least, '16 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor Autograph number to 50, Victor Robles. How about that? Clean signature. Of course, it's got an 8.5 grade, and I don't think it's undergraded per se. The front looks super clean though. Really nice overall. The front is almost worthy of 10 consideration, but then you turn it around and you're like, oh, so those lower two corners kind of, and I think another one of the corners isn't perfect. Top left. Yeah. So, you know, deservedly got the 8.5, I think, but definitely a player that you can get for a lot cheaper than Juan Soto and Ronald Acuna. And who knows, this guy could be the superstar of the Nationals. I think he was a consensus top 10 prospect the last 3 years. He's got ridiculous potential. A lot of people peg him as a guy that could hit 15 to 20 home runs with like 40 to 50 plus steals. And he's having a great spring. Don't always want to... You kind of want to take spring stats with a grain of salt, but it's always nice to see the rookies performing well, or the, you know, he qualifies still as a rookie, and he's having a great season. So he's that the center field job should be all his, right? So, and I know Isaac from Cards and Collectibles, he's a big fan of Robles, so I'm sure he'll like this card. This is my second Robles auto. Thought I got it at a good price. I got it for a lot less than what a True Gem Blue Refractor would have went for, a True Gem Mint 10 or a BGS 9.5 or Quad 9.5. So that would have cost me a bit more. But based on my calculations, an 8.5 should be worth close to, if not about half of what a PSA 10 should go for. So I calculated out like 51% or something. A PSA 8 would go for less than half of a True Gem Mint in most cases. PSA 9, of course, would go for more than half, but a PSA 8.5 is going to be about 51% based on some like interpolation logic that I did on a few different Bowman Chrome cards, modern cards. So happy to pick that one up. And now we have the PSA bulk submission results. Again, thanks MikeO. He did a great job with this. This is my second ever PSA submission that I did. Took a while to get these things back. It will when you do the bulk orders, especially. And PSA, of course, is having difficulty handling their capacity and demand increases and stuff like that. Again, this is my second ever submission. First ever with modern cards. And this was back from October. So I was just getting back into the hobby, I'd say like the middle to the end of last year, 2018. So I know a bunch of these I didn't get the best ROI on. So I just wanted to give you a background of that earlier. Like, well, Phil, I thought you like knew what you were doing. Why did you like submit that card that clearly wasn't a 10? You know, you definitely lost your money there. Well, I understand that. And part of it also is the fun. You know, you never know what you're going to get back. So there's a little bit of a rush that goes into it, which is really cool, which I didn't pick up on until Mike released his videos last week. All right, so first card. So this is just complete bullshit. So this was the one vintage card I submitted, 1966 Topps, didn't meet minimum size. I purchased this from a guy who is known to crack things out of slabs, and by slabs I mean PSA and Beckett. And he sells them raw because he thinks that they look better out of the slab than inside, meaning that they're undergraded. And I actually had already submitted this as part of my first ever PSA submission order late in 2018, and I submitted it with a minimum grade of a 7, like an idiot. This is before I understood and the risks, or this is before I had confidence in my ability to crack cards out of slabs after the fact. if I was confident in my abilities back then, I would have submitted it and then been like, oh, well, if this is a crappy grade, then I'll consider whether or not I want to take it out of the slab or not. But so they would have told me that it didn't fit minimum size before, if that's what they thought. But instead, they just told me it didn't meet minimum grade. So I put a 7. They didn't think it met a 7. And then they made another $20 off me because now they're saying it's not meeting the minimum size requirement. So maybe it's trimmed or something like that. And you know what? Maybe it is. But why couldn't they have told me that the first time and not wasted my time? And then maybe I would have been able to get a, maybe I would have been able to return it to the original eBay seller, which now it's months, ahead. But I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Now I feel like, ethics-wise, like, do I even want to sell this at my dealer table and take the risk that, like, it really might be trimmed, or just me knowing that there's a 50% chance it could be trimmed based on my 2 submission results from PSA. I don't know. What do you guys think? Write in the comments, like, how bad should I feel if I try to sell this as is without saying that it's trimmed to someone? I don't know. They kind of put me in a bad spot. PSA did. All right, so next, 93 Topps. I had a bunch of these Jeter cards, and I thought that this was by far the best of all my 93 Topps Jeters. Centering is pretty damn good. Corners to me looked decent. Maybe not perfect, but top right is a little eh. Bottom corners are decent. I don't know. Not an expert. Surface, sometimes you get like snow on these cards. I made sure that there wasn't much snow on them, but I'm sure there still are a few spots, speckles and stuff like that. Maybe that's what took it down. Back's pretty clean. Centering again, pretty damn good, I thought. Maybe top to bottom's not perfect. I don't know. But yeah, they gave me an 8. I feel like if I had submitted this 10 years ago, I would have had a chance at a 10. At worst, in a 9. But I think they've gotten more stringent over time. So yeah, this is an example of a card that I could have sold raw for about the same as what this is going to go for. Maybe $5 more in a PSA 8. I'm just making up numbers, but that's just an example of a card I think I kind of got hosed on. Next, David Ortiz, 97 Ultra. This is when he was known as David Arias. Now this, with a PSA 8, I'm not surprised. These cards are really tough. With the Rookie Card Explosion box, actually, I've been trying to target this product, but it's just so damn hard to find. It comes in a specific series, and then you have like retail and hobby, and it's hard to find anything in 97 Ultra, never mind the exact product where the Ortiz fits in. And a lot of people are selling stuff on eBay pretending that it has the Ortiz, but you always have to Google the product, and it's either usually... It's going to be Cardboard Connection or Baseball Cardpedia will have that checklist for you. Usually one of the first things that'll come up on Google once you search the set. And then you'll be able to check to see if those players are in there. But yeah, the corners aren't perfect. So I'm pretty happy with an 8, I think. A little edge wear there. And this is still commands some money in an 8. So you'd be a little surprised there, actually. Next card, another rookie card, 2001 Upper Deck Pujols. This is my only Pujols rookie card. I'm happy with this 9. I knew from the get-go it wouldn't get a 10. Corners definitely aren't perfect. I'm guessing this is one of the easier cards to pull a 10 in, though, because I got a 9 pretty easily. And I bought this raw a while back. I think I have some of the Liriano cards in like 9.5s. Those are worth nothing. BGS 9.5s. But sweet card of one of the best hitters of all time. And I think he's a little underrated. Somebody had posted something on one of the Facebook groups I'm a part of, and it compared the first like 7 years of Trout versus the first 7 years of Pujols. If you go by WAR, Mike Trout was the better player. But if you take away like defensive metrics and defensive WAR, it's actually really, really close. You'd be amazed at some of those Pujols seasons he had. I mean, it's been 10 to 15 years, but if you go back and you look at like his walks, his power output between like home runs, extra base hits, and he was able to maintain a high average with with high walks and really low strikeouts. It's just crazy. He had some really great seasons before the age of like 31 or whenever he was signed by the Angels. I think with the Angels he had a few really good seasons, but you know, now he'll be lucky if he hits 250 with 30 home runs. All right, next up, I did this because Halladay was the guy to get in like December, and I knew like the surface there. I submitted it anyways. That was dumb of me. I was like, I want a Halladay in a slab. I knew it wasn't going to get a 9 or a 10. I was actually thinking, I was joking in the live chat with MikeO and company while he was doing my submission live. I was saying that I guarantee that this got a 7 or less. Corners are pretty good and the edges are pretty good. It's just that probably knocked it down 2 grades. If it wasn't for that, could have had a 9+, I think. But really sweet card. It's not the Bowman Chrome. If it had been the Bowman Chrome, an 8 wouldn't be that bad, but this is a card I picked up for $1, I think, in 2014, and it's not worth more than that much more than that now, and probably the 8. So, next card, I'm happy about this one. This one I was shooting for a 9. 92 Bowman Rivera. Like Halladay, his cards have exploded. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame unanimously, and at my dealer table, I sold a couple Riveras, not understanding that all of his cards pretty much like doubled. So I'm glad to still have this one. I'm glad I submitted this year to PSA, because I probably could have made more in the other two. In the other two, I think I had a BCCG 10 and a BGS 8.5. So this 9 is better than both those cards and should sell for about 100, maybe a little bit more, I'm thinking. Sweet card. And of course, this is featured in my Rookie Card Explosion Box, Volume 3, so which sold out after 5 days. Not even 5 days, 4.5 days, I think. Crazy. All right, next card. So this is an example of why you should never throw away rookie cards. Specifically, I guess, pertaining to products that you break, and you're like, what do I do with all these cards? Well, you know, you should probably hold on to more than the ones that like show up in, you know, eBay auctions, and you know, just because it's not worth at least a few bucks, or just because it hasn't sold in the last 90 days. I mean, you kind of have to broaden your horizons a little bit. Now, you don't want to be a hoarder, because I'm definitely against that. I throw away, like, you know, Topps update box. I'll make sure I throw away half, if not 75% of those cards. If they're not rookie cards, if they're not known players, hot players, prospects, or inserts, or short prints, because that's a lot of cardboard there. That doesn't give you a lot of room for other stuff in your closet, like future breaks. So this is a product, 2008 Bowman Chrome, that I broke 4 years ago. At the time, I don't think I had known much about this player. He was like a journeyman, like a utility player. Probably didn't have a starting job 4 or 5 years ago. And if he did, he just wasn't a known commodity like he is today. The product also isn't known to have a lot of great players. That's why it's so cheap. Of all the Bowman Chrome products in the last 15 years or so, it's definitely the cheapest. Black Friday, blowoutcards.com, they were selling the product for $30, and then I think they dropped it at like $25 for a hobby box, which is kind of crazy because you're guaranteed at least one autograph, I think. That's like $1 a pack almost for Bowman Chrome, which is, and the card is beautiful. Like, they did a really great job with the set. It's just they separated out all the good players, like David Price, Bumgarner, and there's a few other rookies, like maybe Buster Posey, Stanton. Like, they're just in different products, whether it's regular Bowman or Bowman Draft or something like that. But anyways, so if I didn't get a 10 here, I would have been pissed, because this is probably only worth like 20 to 25 bucks in a 10 slab. But Justin Turner before the beard, like, how would I have known this guy? Nobody knew who he was before the beard. So I guess he started with the Reds before he went to the Mets. And there could have been some other teams in between, I'm not sure. But yeah, really happy with this card. Like I said, great design, really cool design there. And it was a no-doubter, or else I wouldn't have submitted it to PSA. And I would have been extremely pissed if this was a 9. So I was able to almost pay for what I paid for the box back then, probably. Although I probably paid like 30 or 35 bucks at the time. I was a newbie, didn't know what was in the product. It's like, oh, Bowman Chrome. In the last card, 2013 Bowman Chrome Xander Bogaerts. This is a red wave, number to 50, I believe. I also thought this was a no-doubter. Really sweet card. Bought it raw back in 2014. I forget how much I paid, but probably won't lose money on this one. Numbered out to 25. Of course, his true rookie Bowman Chrome is 2012. I do have his blue refractor auto. All right, guys, so kind of a long video, but had a lot to show off. Hopefully you liked what you saw. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you got to do? Thanks, guys.